A wise man once said that the children yearn for the mines. Wrong! The children yearn for horrors beyond human comprehension. Exhibit A, just look at some of these. Look at it, look! That's just straight up Lucifer. Pretty amazing, yeah, but it's also objectively pretty fucking horrifying. I am so glad I got to grow up on stuff like that because no wonder I ended up so awesome when my role models were literally Barbara Dahmer and sociopath Fox. It breaks my disgusting little heart to know that there will never be another generation to grow up and courage the cowardly dog. Because to be scared is to know that there is magic in the world. Something that gets inevitably lost with age when the realization of how monotonous the world can truly be sets in. Hiding under your blankets after seeing that hepatitis having fucker ask for his slab back should be a state-mandated core experience for every child, goddammit. And honestly, I'm glad that when I was a kid I was a massive pussy who was afraid of everything. Because fear and wonder go hand in hand. And considering how most children's media these days is sanitized slop, I feel like that's kind of being lost. But enough of me complaining like a boomer. Today I'm here to rank some of the eldritch gods that shaped my childhood. Well, eldritch gods might be a bit of a stretch in some cases, but for all intents and purposes eldritch gods means whatever the fuck I wanna yap about, capish? Also, the media I'm about to discuss is very dear to me and helped me become who I am today. Therefore, I will only treat it with the highest of respect and rank them with diligence based on their complexity and writing alone. Let's get to it, shall we? Starting off, we have Golb, the fat baby chaos god of Adventure Time. This one I don't even have to advocate for, he's about as eldritch as they come. He's literally Azathoth but without the narcolepsy. One of the many things I love about Adventure Time is its cosmology. Before there was time, there was nothing, and before there was nothing, there were monsters. That is some Judge Holden speech type shit, I love it. It only makes sense that the top dog of said cosmology is pretty sick. I'd say Golb fits into the embodiment of a universal concept type of god, if you catch my drift. He's neither good nor evil, he's just chaos incarnate. Definitely leans towards being evil though from the perspective of a human, because pure unfiltered cosmic chaos is bad for the long-term survival of a species. But Golb himself isn't malicious. See how he doesn't really kill any of the beings around him, he just twists them into something new. When he brings a world into nothingness, he's just making space for another to take its place. An all-powerful agent of change, chaotic neutral at its purest. Which I love. That's the best kind of Eldritch God in my opinion. Also I'm counting Golbetty as Golb. Whilst Fused they save Simon and turn the Lich into a Lego. Now those were clearly more of Betty's decisions rather than Golb's, but I don't care. She only did those things because they didn't go against Golb's nature as Chaos Incarnate. Now onto the ranking. Yeah, and yeah, there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Alright, next up we have Nibiru from Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, also known as the best Scooby-Doo of them all, don't even try to dispute that. This chad is a bit more obscure than Golb. Like his name isn't even Nibiru, technically that's just where he hangs out. And Nibiru doesn't even originate from his show. I was watching some schizoid on TikTok talk about how the earth is flat and dragons were real, you know, like I do every Thursday afternoon. And whilst he was talking about the Great Wall of Ice that kept the White Walkers away or something, he said something about how Nibiru was approaching. And that hit me like I was the fucking Winter Soldier and instantly reawakened some memories in this underused brain of mine. It made me remember how there was so much going on in this fucking Scooby-Doo show. It had a curse that spanned generations, a golden McGuffin pizza, Spanish conquistadors, and an Eldritch god. This show was like the town bicycle for tropes that I vibe with. Alright, so Nibiru is a member of the Anunnaki, a species of astral pseudo-bullshit gods that can visit Earth once in a whenever by possessing an animal. These furries were mostly chill, but Nibiru wasn't like other girls and he wanted to invent taxes and unskippable ads. So he got put into the crystal cock cage. He still had some influence whilst in the box by manipulating groups of people throughout history. Why these groups always consisted of 4 people and 1 animal companion is pure coincidence. Skipping forward a little bit, Nibiru gets freed by a cool bird and some randoms, and he instantly gets humbled by this NPC dog after trying to possess it. Afterwards he decides to possess the superior avian creature, which is successful. Now that he has an animal body, he can unleash the true extent of his otherworldly power, which includes slapping people with tentacles, eating people with tentacles, and calling his other furry friends. But even with all of that in his arsenal, he just cannot harm the mystery gang. That's because they have the power of friendship. And also he's built like a fucking Rupert's drop, as in his body is durable but the box he came out of is not, and if it's destroyed he also dies. And so a random stray dog manages to throw a stick inside of it and it instantly shatters, but what he didn't account for is for it to reach critical mass and turn into a fucking black hole that swallows up the earth. But when Scooby wakes up, he realizes that everything is fine and the evil entity is gone, but then when he looks at his friend Velma, he finds out the horrific truth that the true evil is being a profitable IP. An IP that's destined to be reborn again and again, and never be allowed to rest. Okay, look, I wasn't lying when I said this series was peak, it's just that Nibiru was a pretty mediocre final boss. Like, the journey to reaching him was so fun and mysterious with a lot of good build-up, but the two-dimensional pure evil shoelace god whose only motivation is to control and delete the universe didn't exactly live up to the hype, you know? It's definitely one of those it's about the journey, not the destination type of shows. Like, the entire series was basically built up to meeting this twat, and I don't think they really planned out what he was meant to be. So I guess they just went for the easy way and made him an uninteresting mini. It is what it is. For the ranking, yeah, but only because of the tentacles. Anyway, on to the next. From one cosmic douchebag that's stuck somewhere to another, we have Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. Bill is definitely better than the previous jackass, but he also falls into the pure evil category. But unlike Nibiru, he actually has some depth and an actual personality. Okay, so Bill is a denizen of the second dimension, you know, the flat one. At least that's what it used to be until Bill wiped it from the map in cold blood. Okay, well, there's a bit more to it than that. Bill was different from his people due to the fact that he was born with one eye. An eye that allowed him to view higher dimensions, which is what led to him destroying his home in some cataclysmic event that he can't even bear to think about. It's kind of unclear if he did it on purpose or not, but even if he didn't, he still became an irredeemable psychopath that wanted nothing more than to turn the earth into a cosmic Diddy party. He had one tiny problem, however, which was that he was blacklisted from directly accessing our 3D world, and he had to scheme in the nightmare dimension and convince someone to build a portal for him to get through from our side. He did have some influence though, via talking to people in their dreams Kruger style, which he used on a shaman. Didn't work. Then on Tutankhamun. Didn't work. Then on George Washington. Didn't work. And then finally on a nerd named Ford. Boom, works like a charm. First try, baby. Ford manages to build his portal device in a little town called Ferentari, but before turning it on, he realizes Bill is the actual devil and decides to destroy it. Some family drama intervenes, yada yada yada, portal opens anyway. Earth's shit out of luck, right? Well, due to some Disney Channel content restrictions, Bill gets defeated in one of the best finales I've seen in any cartoon ever. But he doesn't die though, he just gets banished to some cosmic Alcatraz place where he gets his eye hole violated by Kronos or something. And everyone lives happily ever after. The end. Okay, look, so I've made it pretty clear I'm not a fan of pure evil gods, but Bill is different. Bill has charisma, Bill has wits, Bill has intrigue and depth, and last but not least, Bill has 2000 yaoi fanfics shipping him with Ford on AO3. Bill Cipher is about as good as it gets when it comes to pure evil Doritos, and he's voiced by Alex Hirsch. That's why I'm not even gonna elaborate when it comes to his placement on the list. Next up we have... yeah, this one, huh? The Last of the Starmakers is my favorite episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. It follows these two squid-like aliens that seem to be creators of stars, you know, hence the name. The episode starts with them having fun flying around and making stars in space, being all eldritchly lovey-dovey and shit, until a giant whale thing that seems to be their natural predator comes to eat them. The green squid sacrifices itself in order for the pink one to escape with their babies, and it releases all of the stars it could as its final act. The pink one, now heartbroken, gently lands on Earth, seeking refuge for itself and its offspring. That's where it meets Courage, Muriel, and Eustace, who, like the hustler he is, promptly sells the priceless benevolent entity for a few bucks. The rest of the episode follows Courage trying to get the infant squid eggs back under their mother to rebalance the celestial ecosystem, which it does, but shortly afterwards the pink squid turns into flowers and dies. Okay, look, I didn't say this episode was Ozymandias or anything. It's from a kid's cartoon from the 90s. But as a kid I bawled my eyes out for this episode. The music and visuals were outstanding even for today's standards. And the idea that this almighty forger of stars can be touched by the compassion of mortals is, you know, pretty nice. And there being star squid babies in the night sky instead of an unknowable evil entity is also pretty cute. Some OG cosmic hopecore right here, which dare I say is the best type of cosmic, except maybe the brownies, which I've never tried. Hey Scrog, did this piece of piss really take you 2 weeks to make? Well, guilty as the Pope wanking his holy scepter. I don't know why it took me so long to make this dumbass video. Maybe I can blame it on my 18th birthday coming up or the exams I had to worry about. But really it was probably me being a lazy bum that watched 16 hours worth of Dispatch playthroughs. Next one will have to be about something that really gets my juices flowing. If you somehow made it to the end of this one, then wow, here, you deserve this. That's it for today though, see ya next time creatures.